WVVA in Focus, a weekly program about important issues and events in the two Virginias.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this edition of In Focus. I'm your host, Melinda Zosh. This morning, we're going to be talking about some fun upcoming events and the latest happenings in Tazewell. Joining me right now to share some insight is Tazewell Mayor Michael Hoops. Also joining us right now is Vanessa Rebentisch, the director of Tazewell Today. So there's a lot to discuss this morning. Mayor Hoops, I'll start with you. Let's talk about what's been going on at Lincolnshire Park. There's new trails and like a bunch of new things for the kids. Yeah, so
we're really excited. We've opened up a new trail. It's about a mile long, in addition to the 1.5 mile long trail we already have around the lake. So it just gives our people that live in the local area a place to get out and exercise and walk around. We've added some kind of exercise equipment where the trail branches off, so if people are running or walking, they want to stop and do pull-ups or things of that nature, there's some equipment there for them to do that.
Oh, that's so cool. I have to interrupt you there. What kind of equipment is it?
So it'd be your built-in, pull-up bars, something you could do push-ups on and things, kind of your basic exercises.
All around the trail?
Well, it's in one area on the back side of the lake, so it's where the trail and the old walking trail kind of combined.
See, I have to ask because I'm sure there's people out there wondering like, wait, where can I find this exercise equipment if I'm out there at the lake? That is so cool. Now, also, let's talk about the playground and the splash pad as well.
I'll say those are two of the things I'm most proud of. We just redid the entire playground. The one was dilapidated and people were getting splinters, and there's a lot of carpenter bees. So the town approved the money to replace all the equipment, so we took it out, and I'm happy to say that it's open. People are going and taking advantage of the new playground, and kids seem to be enjoying it.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Vanessa, you just started with Tazewell Today not too long ago, but what's going on this summer that you're really excited about looking ahead?
Well, we've got a bunch of new events planned. We're going to actually be having a Bluegrass Festival for our first Friday event. It's on June 3rd. We have several bands playing. We have a petting zoo, bounce house. We actually have a mechanical bull and a rock climbing wall. And that event will be running from 5 to 10, June 3rd, our first Friday.
And free to anyone who wants to come out.
Free to anybody coming out.
Ooh, are you both going to try the rock wall and the mechanical bull, maybe?
We might. The mechanical bull for sure.
Definitely going to watch the mayor on the mechanical bull.
Yeah, yes. That'll definitely be fun. Mayor Hoops, why do you think it's important to have A, what we talked about with the upgrades at Lincolnshire Park, but B, what Vanessa was touching on, like these fun events coming up for the summer, like the First Friday event. Why is it important to have that for the folks in Tazewell and surrounding areas to come out and enjoy?
Well, the community loves to get out and do things. With COVID, it brought a lot of staying inside, and we're happy that now we can branch out and we can start offering things for what we hope will be for all our citizens. That we do a lot of different things. So if you have young kids, you can take them to Lincolnshire, where we'll have the playgrounds, spray park, the aqua park will be opening up soon. So we just try to be diverse and offer something for a lot of different types of people.
And let's also talk about like what other things might be new in Tazewell. I saw a new restaurant opened. I think it might be in the location where 7 used to be, but let's talk a little bit about economic growth and development in Tazewell.
Okay, so we've been very fortunate with young entrepreneurs and everything wanting to come in and open restaurants and things of that nature. So we're really excited that the Chop House now on Main Street's open, and it seems to be doing really well. Every time I drive by there's just a lot of cars parked down the street, and it really helps our community out to be able to offer different food choices for our local people.
And Vanessa, back to the event that you were talking about coming up in early June. Why do you think it's important to have an event like that that's great for kids as well and families?
We really wanted to take something that we found was part of our heritage, which is bluegrass music, and incorporate it into the events in town. We hadn't had a bluegrass festival on Main Street before, so we thought it would be nice to see how the community responded to it. And so we thought by adding some fun things for kids and some bands, especially local bands, that people will get a little bit of a taste of everything from Tazewell.
Yeah, and that's definitely great to have that local talent there as well. Mayor Hoops, COVID changed everything as far as in-person events and social distancing and all that. How does it feel now to have these events coming back where people can gather in person, and really it's a great way to kick off the summer, but it feels like we're almost going back to normal in a way.
Oh, it does, and everybody needed a sense of normalcy. It was just so hard. We tried to have events and tried to maintain the CDC guidelines, but people were not coming out. I mean, they were, following the guidelines, and so what we could do, we did, but it just wasn't the same, and it was very difficult not seeing Main Street lined with people and everybody having fun. So it's going to be very exciting to get back to doing that again.
Yeah, and how do you expect it's going to look with tourism season really off to the start now that it's spring, looking ahead to summer? I mean, you have the Back of the Dragon there in Tazewell, and like you said, some other restaurants and things that draw people to southwestern Virginia and Tazewell County. How do you think it's going to be looking this year with tourism?
I think it's going to be a great year. I honestly do. I think a lot of people who were hesitant to come out are actually going to come out and start, enjoying what we have to offer and taking advantage of Back of the Dragon and seeing our beautiful scenery. So it's something that we're really, really looking forward to.
Yeah, and Vanessa, you're new to the area, but what do you think of Tazewell? Like, what's your favorite part of the area so far?
I think the reason why we moved here was the natural landscape. We just really love the mountains. We love driving in the mountains. I think for us as a family, we have some very small children. We enjoy going over to Cabot's Creek quite a bit. But of course, we also love taking the kids onto Main Street and enjoying the events there. So something we're looking forward to.
And you came from New York, too.
Correct. We drove all the way from New York here.
See, welcome. It's great. And I actually met Vanessa out at the Polar Plunge, and coming up in the next segment, I think we're going to have to show our viewers some images from the Polar Plunge. But we do have to take a quick break, so let's go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we'll take a look at some images from the Polar Plunge back in February, maybe relive some fun moments from that day. How about that? Great. All right, we'll be right back. Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to this edition of In Focus this morning. We've been talking about some great upcoming events in the town of Tazewell and also some renovations at Lincolnshire Park. We also have some video I'd like to share with our viewers because the town of Tazewell is looking for seasonal lifeguards for the Lincolnshire Pool and Aqua Park. So for this, you must be at least 15 years of age and have Red Cross certification with CPR and AED training. And your duties would include supervising swimming activities, ensuring policies and guidelines and safety procedures are all followed. You would also be handling admission fees and deep cleaning of all pool operations. If you're interested, you can pick up an application at the town of Tazewell at 211 Central Avenue, Tazewell, Virginia, or you can go online to townoftazewell.org. Joining me again is Mayor Michael Hoops and Vanessa Rebentisch with Tazewell today. Again, thank you both for being here. Let's talk a little bit about the need for lifeguards, Mayor Hoops. Why do you think there's such a need right now for those folks to jump in, so to speak, and help?
Well, we see record numbers of people coming through our pools, and we need as many lifeguards as we can get to ensure the safety for everyone. We split up between the pool and the aqua park, so we need to have multiple lifeguards at each area. So it's, to maintain the safety, we just need to have as many people as we can apply.
Yeah, and I think that the pool there in Tazewell, that's like a tradition that people love going to every year. Why do you think it's so important to have that there for families to come out and enjoy summer after summer?
It gets them out of the house. They've been going to school all year, so when the pool opens, it kind of signifies that summer is finally here and they don't have to go back to school. They can enjoy their days in the water. Okay, so speaking of water, I do want to talk about the Polar Plunge that happened a few months ago. So that the Polar Plunge returned to Tazewell this year. It was on a hiatus due to the COVID pandemic for a bit. But donors took the 46-degree water, they jumped in that water for a good cause. And our Ben Schwartz has this story that he filed for us back in February. I'd like to take a look at that right now.
Some may see these polar plungers as crazy.
Cold, for lack of a better way to put it. Freezing.
No, I'm not kidding. It is very refreshing once you do it.
But with a $50 entry fee, the return of this fundraiser is about much more than some cold water.
The money goes to victims of domestic abuse, and it also goes to people who are seeking shelter.
During the pandemic, our numbers raised from 180 people per year to 340 per year. So we saw a significant increase during the pandemic, and so every extra dollar helps.
And with such a need, participants are more than happy to take the freezing dive.
You go numb. It's like, it's 14 feet deep and you do go down. And then it's like getting back up. It is cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you do it again next year?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Hopefully make more money next year.
Kat O'Brien raised more than $900 for this year's plunge, one of many to go above and beyond in their efforts. And with some familiar faces joining in,
You're feeling good! Completely numb now. Cannot feel a thing.
Well, I tell you what, it's really, really cold, but it's a nice time. You barely feel it after, so it's not too bad.
it's hard not to make the best of this round of the polar plunge. Here for you in Tazewell, Ben Schwartz, WVVA News.
Oh, watching that video brings back memories to when I actually did it a few years ago, and Major Harold Heatley was there, and like we jumped in, and I remember that water was ice cold. It hits you as soon as you jump in. It's like, oh, it's like a lot of needles like stabbing you, but it's all for a good cause. I must say that, and the pain is only temporary. It goes away, but it is cold out there year after year. Mayor Hoops, why do you think that's important to have that tradition in Tazewell on the polar plunge, to have it right there?
Well, based on the video we just saw, you didn't see anybody frowning.
Right.
Everybody was smiling. Everybody was happy to, and it's kind of a sense of community. People, they spend their money to give to a good cause, and then they, come out and they jump. You said 46, but that was just on the top of the water.
Oh.
Because if you went about, a foot down, it dropped to about 38.
Oh,
So
geez, yeah.
It was very cold that day, but everybody just enjoys it, and they don't mind coming out and jumping in and freezing. So I love seeing, masses of people coming in and enjoying themselves.
Right, and it's like really freezing for a reason. The money went back to victims of domestic violence.
Correct.
Right? Clinch Valley Community Action.
Yes, so it's always a great fundraiser, and we tend to partner with that group fairly often on fundraisers. So yeah, we enjoy doing it.
And Vanessa, why do you think it's important to have the polar plunge right in Tazewell, and the money goes to a great cause like what we've been talking about?
I think at that time of year when things are dark most of the time and people find themselves inside, it's a great way to get people outside, get people together, dancing, jumping in the water,
great music,
communicating. We had great food, great music. Everybody was cracking up. It was just fun to laugh in the middle of the worst day ever, and get people together.
Right, like you said, like in the dead of winter too, it's a great time to come out. It's cold, but it really does go for a great cause. And that one lady in Ben's story was talking about how you go like 14 feet under. I remember when I did it, I had my life jacket on because I really can't swim, full disclosure, but I had my life jacket on and I bounced right back up to the surface.
Oh, I remember when you did it because you were very cautious. You walked to the edge of it. It's like you were second guessing yourself.
I really was.
It's like, is this a good life decision?
I know, I was not sure, and I was like, I just can't swim, and I saw that like the EMS people on the side. I'm like, well, they're there. I have my life jacket on. Here we go. It's now or never. It's one of those things you have to take the plunge, because if you don't, it's like, well, I signed up for it. People are waiting for me to jump, right? So
absolutely.
Anyway, it's definitely worth it. It goes for a great cause, and it's just a community event year after year. But again, COVID changed the dynamic quite a bit as that event was put on hiatus. Mayor Hoops, what other events do you think are like a tradition every year in Tazewell that people just look forward to year after year?
I think Main Street Moments is one of the biggest ones, where we'll have concerts, we'll have car shows, and we'll have lots of vendors out on Main Street and everything. So that's one of the year after year events that we have that the masses really look forward to.
Ooh, is that something Vanessa can touch on, maybe?
Yeah, this year we're going to be collaborating with Beck of the Dragon. They're bringing in actually an event company themselves that we're working with, and they're OTR on the road. And we're basically building on this event. It should be bigger than it's ever been. There'll be a bigger cruise in, more music, more stages, more tents, more vendors, new vendors. I think it'll be a really entertaining experience for people who have been coming for years, and I think that we'll see a lot of new faces coming to visit Tazewell this year.
Now, when is Main Street Moments again?
It's the 22nd and the 23rd.
Of July. Okay, so mark your calendars, folks. July 22nd, 23rd. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Is there any admission to attend that, or is it free?
No. It's all free.
It's all free, and we're extending. So Main Street events typically stopped where the Painted Peak is, but for this event, it's going to extend all the way down to where Back of the Dragon is, so it's going to be rather large.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. And Mayor Hoops, how do events like that really also help bring in folks from all around the region? I mean, because when they're coming in, they're spending money at restaurants, they're you know, staying here locally. How does that really help the local economy?
So it just gives it a boost. You know, we see outside money coming in, which we all know that's how, you know, how areas survive. We just need the money to come in, and if we keep having the same local spending the same dollar, you don't really make much. But when you have tourists coming in that don't typically visit your area, and they come, they get their gas, they stay in hotels, they eat at your restaurants, it's just an injection that we really survive off of.
Is there anything else that you all can think of looking ahead this summer that families and like parents out there may be interested in knowing about?
I think that's one I can answer, yeah. So, I mean, we really are focusing on building experiences for people, and we, of course, are looking to build on all of our events and make them bigger and better than they've ever been. But we're also looking to revitalize Main Street. Right now, we're working on just murals on Main, trying to get local property owners, business owners to donate their empty wall space so that we can have local artists and community organizations do murals on Main Street. So we're building on that project right now. We've got a couple of murals in the works. In that project, we're also building on revitalizing our mini park, and it needed some love. It had been a while, so we're actually turning that into a food truck park for the season. And this is going to be a pilot program for small business owners, food truck owners. We're going to be rotating through several different local vendors, and there'll be a calendar so that when you come onto Main Street, there will always be a food truck open on Main Street, and there'll be outdoor eating in the mini park with umbrellas and tables, and you can walk around and enjoy food on Main.
Oh, that sounds like fun. So for those who are interested in checking out the food vendors, is that going to be a weekend only thing or available during the week as well?
We're really focusing on building a menu on Monday through Sunday.
Wow.
But especially on Mondays and Tuesdays. You know, we have the local community there that would like to enjoy themselves on Main Street, so we're trying to bring the locals up. But I also think that this program will be great because, you know, depending on how successful these food trucks are, potentially they may want to open their own businesses on Main Street, and that's really where this pilot program is coming from. And to add to that, we're also working on our green space project, which is a very large swath of land across from the brewery. It's about 1.6 acres, I believe. And in that project, we are working with the library and trying to build a community garden area. At an amphitheater. We'll be doing our Movies on Main series there. So there'll be movies throughout the summer and into the fall where we'll have the community get together, come to the park. We'll have food trucks. We'll also be selling concessions through Tazewell today and trying to do some fundraising because we're a non-for-profit. And, you know, it'll be mostly about just getting the community together. We'll also be adding that area to our festivals that already exist. So you'll find bounce houses down there, petting zoos, and we'll just be building on that area.
And is there a good Facebook page, social media page, or website for folks to go to get more information or the most up-to-date information about these projects?
We try to update as regularly as possible on Facebook and Instagram, but yeah, you can find all of our events online by going to our events page at tazewelltoday.org. If you just click on events, you'll find our entire calendar for the season. We'll be adding some events as we go along. The town's been really supportive about building on new events, so there may be some additions as we go, but everything's on there. There's usually a poster for whatever is happening. I have about 3 at a time. We have prom coming up May 21st. I know that's a really big deal for the community here. I'm excited to be participating in it. That's going to be from 7 to 11:30. We beg you not to stay until 11:30, but just to watch the kids walk up. And we're also going to be working on Juneteenth, which is going to be on the 18th of June this year. The organizers of the event are going to be on Main Street at the stage. There's going to be a community choir. There's also going to be several speakers, and we'll be taking a parade down Tazewell Avenue to Carline, where we'll be finishing with bounce houses, free food, like a large picnic area. There's going to be bubbles, a DJ. It'll be really fun.
So much fun. Well, I wish we had more time to talk, but we've run out of time for this segment. We do have to take a quick break, but I want to say thank you, Mayor Hoops and Vanessa, for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to this edition of In Focus. In the last two segments, you heard about upcoming summer events in Tazewell. Now we're going to tell you about an upcoming car and bike show in Bluefield, West Virginia. Joining me now is retired Command Sergeant Major Brian Crabb, retired from the military and a JROTC instructor in Mercer County. Brian, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So let's talk more about this car show. It's being put on by American Legion Riley Vest Post 9. Tell us more about this upcoming show.
All right, this show is going to be our inaugural. We were searching for ways to raise money for our American Legion charity. We've helped a lot, not only veterans, we've actually helped civilians also this past year and from the years before. So this was a way that a couple of our members, John George and Jimmy Slaughter, came to me about, and I said, wait, you know, let's do it. They've done most of the legwork and got a lot of sponsors, as you'll see on the paper, from a lot of businesses and banks in Mercer County, and actually from Tazewell County also, that have helped us.
And Brian, this event is coming up on Saturday, May 28th from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. in the afternoon. It's happening on Raleigh Street in Bluefield, West Virginia. And we're just going to share some information with our viewers here quickly. It's a $20 car entry fee. Trophies of the top 50, best of class, 8 specialty trophies available. There's going to be door prizes, concessions, 50-50 drawing. And you touched on this a bit, Brian, but what does the money raised at this event go toward?
Our money so far this year, we've had to build wheelchair ramps, fix decks. We've had several roof repairs that we've had to do. We also donate money to the Bluefield Ridge Runners for Military Night to help pay for the cost of the veterans that get in free. We sponsor a travel baseball team from local players from Bluefield High School, Princeton, all the way to Narrows. Which, as you know, costs a lot of money to travel. We sponsor that as a baseball team. And then we get requests throughout the year to help people. And so this money will help us have money in our account so we do not have to tell people no, we can actually help people.
Right, and now with the cost of it, it seems like almost everything on the rise, and you mentioned utility bills. That money can really go a long way to help folks in need. And this is the inaugural car and bike show by American Legion Riley Vest Post 9. Why was it decided to put together this car and bike show this year?
Especially in this area, there's a lot of car clubs, and most of them will donate the $20 because they know it's going to a good cause. And we thought that would be a great way for us to raise money. And as you look on there too, we also have a band, Wildfire Honey, which are really good. Everybody that goes and sees them in the shows. So then that's free to everybody. You don't have to have a car. You can just come out and enjoy the show, enjoy the food.
And why do you think it's important to have an event just like this in Bluefield, but also to go back and help folks in need, like you mentioned?
Well, for the city of Bluefield, it wakes Bluefield up. I've lived there 13 years, and there was a time downtown Bluefield was dead. There wasn't a business open. And now, as you look, it seems like almost every week or every month, a business is opening downtown. And thanks to Tommy Cole, he's letting us use the Big Whiskey barbecue building and the parking lot to actually do all of our concessions, our bands, food, beer. And then the city of Bluefield is marking off from the parking lot through the grass area, the dog park, all the way to the bank and the streets. They are helping us out, set this up and make this a successful event.
And Brian, as you mentioned, it is free if you just want to come out and see the cars. Other than that, it's a $20 car entry fee. How should folks go about entering their car? What's the process to do?
It's the same now. A couple of our members are car club members, and they're taking initiative on that part. They'll pull up and they'll register the $20. We have judges, and this year we also have a special trophy made by Mercer County Technical School. We have high school boys welding parts of cars, i.e. pistons and so on. One of our lead students, Brian Pig from Montcalm High School, his papa owns a junkyard up on Browning-Lambert Mountain, and so he's going through and getting parts. And I think that's going to be a special trophy. Other than the typical plastic trophy with the car on it, a lot of these car owners win. This one here is going to be made by actual high school students, and they're going to weld it together.
Oh, that'll be neat to see.
That will be the American Legion trophy to give out.
Okay. About how many cars do you think might be registered for this event?
I would say, well, we're hoping at least 100, but could be up to 200. We're not sure.
Is there anything else you feel is important to know about this upcoming event, May 28th, again happening 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Raleigh Street, Bluefield, West Virginia. This is the American Legion Riley Vest Post 9 inaugural car and bike show. Brian, anything else you think viewers out there should know about?
I would just like to thank all the local supporters. At first, we didn't know how much support we would get from businesses. And if you look on the flyer that we have there, we're still getting some businesses want to donate to this. So there's a lot of care and concern in our community about helping out other veterans and family members.
Yeah, and it really does take a community effort to put together an event of this magnitude as well.
Yes.
All right, well, Brian, thank you so much for joining us. And again, we want to remind you, if you're interested in going, this car show is coming up Saturday, May 28th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Free, but you do need to pay a $20 car entry fee if you're interested in doing that. This is the inaugural car and bike show, so we hope you go out and check it out. It sounds like it's going to be a great time, and as Brian had mentioned, Wildfire Honey is going to be performing as well.
Yes, and everybody that comes out will enjoy them. They are fantastic, and they are good, and you know, they're worthy of, you know, Nashville. That's how good they are.
Great. Can't wait to check it out. Well, we've run out of time on this edition of In Focus. Brian, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you so much, Melanie.
That does it for this edition of In Focus. We hope you'll join us again next Sunday at 9 a.m. Have a great day.